but it's Alolan Ninetails that does even better with the same type of attack bonus. Weather Ball, we're going to see if they make use of those Pokemon in our first game of the set. I think they will. Let's hop into those leads.
There is Ninetails versus Ferret in the lead. Inadequance is nodding. He knows how good that matchup really is. It doesn't look like it if you're just looking at the typings, but look at the pitiful damage from Sucker Punch and the Weather Ball outpacing. Weather Ball, such a strong attack, 60 damage for this little energy.
If you're Inadequance here, you must be thinking that there has to be something weak to Alolan Ninetails in the back. Whether that be the Altaria or the Unova Stunfisk, you know one of those is lurking. The thing is, both of those have pretty solid play into the back, but you're also neutral into them. So you're not too pressured to swap in and out of here. Just happy to stay in this matchup and let the Ferret land these two Swifts.
And the great thing about Alolan Ninetails here, though, is you can soft lose versus it. That's good. But Alolan Ninetails comes out with a full Weather Ball start because two Swifts don't deal that much damage. So you can swap out later on, throw a Weather Ball onto something else, or you just throw it into the first thing you see. Because there, except for with Shadow Caesar, there is no ice resistance on the team of Colin6ix.
Corviknight comes in, and this may force Inadequance to reveal that he has a Furt and an Empoleon on the back. If you come in here with Empoleon, you're basically just saying, like, hey, I've got a Furt. No way, these sand attacks are just not doing enough damage, and the second Weather Ball is going to be applied onto this Corviknight. But the energy is going to be so impactful into this backline, whether that's Air Cutter into a Furt for a potential boost, or payback into the Empoleon. This Corviknight is still a little bit tricky to handle.
Yeah, Corviknight is really good, especially with a lot of energy in those matchups. But Ferret is so good with two shields into a Stunfisk. Ferret's fast attacks versus Corviknight really work out. You're not falling to one payback on the Empoleon. And there's a Hydro Cannon, and it's being caught by a Stunfisk. You don't really want that, do you? Colin6ix putting up a shield immediately. And now you have a Ferret with a shield advantage versus a Unovan Stunfisk.
I wonder if this is the door that Colin needs to open, though, right? Because now the clocks are ever so slightly desynced. That may give a window of opportunity, but at the same time, Ferret can just do so much damage with these Trailblazers, with these Sucker Punches. It can just get through this entire team without blinking an eye.
Yep, you can't even really shield this. You have no fast attack pressure. Thunder Shock, pitiful damage. Sand Attack, also pitiful damage. You can take another Mud Bomb if you want, but you can also start shielding. Ferret is in such a commanding position. This little normal-type Pokemon from Johto that has been laughed at in other games is absolutely humiliating players in this tournament.
Swift coming down onto this Unova Stunfisk. If you're Colin, you kind of have to shield here, but at the same time, how are you going to get rid of the rest of this Ferret? Knows that his focus is better spent on game number 2 because this one was absolutely taken over by the Alolan Ninetails in the lead.
You're looking at those picks from Inadequance. There is a Shadow Talonflame, there is an Empoleon, there is the Shadow Giratina and Ninetails, and all of those look threatening. And then in the end, you spent too little thoughts on the Ferret of your opponent, and all of a sudden, you get Sucker Punch down on everything.
Does Colin do that? It's game number 2, and we have the Ferret into the Ninetails again.
Let's run it back. Inadequance is giving a quick glimpse at Colin6ix. And now Colin is staying again. Does have nothing to swap in here. If you swap in the Altaria, don't do that. If you're swapping in the Corviknight, the Shadow Talonflame comes in. And if you're just playing out this matchup neutrally, you're going to lose Switch, and you're going to take a lot more damage. 2 Weather Balls from the Alolan Ninetails if you bring in Corviknight to farm down.
Is this even a Giratina team, or is this an Alolan Ninetails showcase? Because that's all I'm seeing here. If this plays out the way it did last game, Alolan Ninetails is going to be able to plow through this Ferret and land even more damage on that Corviknight. Is that going to be the case? So is Colin going to let that happen?
You have to be weak against something if you're playing versus this team of Inadequance. And Inadequance, he is throwing the next Weather Ball. Are you going to try and protect shield this? What would it matter? You would win the 1-0 or 0-1 shield scenario as Alolan Ninetails. Massive advantage already. Brings in the Corviknight, takes 1 Sand Attack worth of damage. We have been here before. We've played this game before. There is going to be another Weather Ball. And then Inadequance already knows the Shadow Talonflame is going to do a lot of work. However, there's going to be an Altaria to possibly answer Shadow Talonflame and the Ferret.
Let's say the Altaria plays out a 2-shield scenario against the Ferret. Is there a world in which you can strip 2 shields away and then snipe with the payback at some point?
I think if anyone can do it, it would be Colin. He has the payback banked. Immediate swap into that Ferret. There's not a lot of damage from that Incinerate on this Altaria.
Swift comes down onto the Altaria. You don't have to shield just yet, but that second one's going to have to be shielded at some point. Sky Attack, not enough to knock out this Furret. But how do you get rid of it? You can maybe snipe with an Air Cutter later if this lands, but still, there's 2 shields on Inadequance's side, and he can even just put his bets on the Talonflame now.
Yeah, I think so too, because there's no fast attack pressure from that Corviknight into the Talonflame. He could just play the 0 shield scenario here, maybe even out shields. I don't even think a payback would knock out the Talonflame from this range, but he is in such a comfortable position because the Alolan Ninetails put him in it. Now Colin6ix maybe tries to go for a full farm down. No, throws another Sky Attack. Inadequance is going to keep shields.
Here we go. Talonflame into the Altaria. We're only 2 away from that Flame Charge. I think if you're Inadequance, you just start going for the farm down. Also, Flame Charge, if it's landed, you may be able to Incinerate down in 1.
Oh, I think that would be a tough task, a tough ask against Corviknight. Corviknight comes in here, does not throw a charged attack. It gets 1 sand attack off, puts down another shield. Can he get to enough energy to knock out this Talonflame? Goes for the payback straight. Is there going to be a shield from Inadequance, or is he trying to call a bait? This could be massive. Puts up a shield! Shields the payback! Inadequance is nodding! Another Incinerate connects here, and Air Cutter is being thrown, but that is not enough.
It was a 50-50 call, I think.
Yeah.
If you let that payback go, the Altaria might be able to farm you down, or even the Corviknight. I think it would have been enough. On the other hand, if you shield the payback, you can just win on the spot.
So good from Inadequance. Another fantastic call here to close it out to 2-0. But Colin6ix with the vision taking this horrendous lead, this incredible team advantage from Inadequance, and conveying it into a 50-50 shield call scenario. Well played.
I wonder if Colin kind of just doubles down on this line.
Trainers have locked in. Get this, it's match point for Inadequance, and this is a hard-winning lead for Inadequance. This is Furret versus Spidops. Spidops has no fast attack pressure into Furret. Colin is staying in. Does he not have a good answer to it? If you're looking at the backlines, Alolan Ninetails is looking phenomenal.
I think I see what Colin's doing. He's going to build up to a Rock Tomb here and then swap to a Furret. Yes, has a lunge loaded, not the Rock Tomb just yet, but has baited this Alolan Ninetails out. His Altaria is really good here now, and actually with the energy on Spidops, there is room to go.
Definitely there is. Not getting the Alolan Ninetails onto this Altaria. The Shadow Talonflame not doing too much when all these Steel types are left at home at Collins. And now we're at 2 Weather Balls. Do 2 Weather Balls without any more Powder Snows here, knock out, because then you have an incredibly healthy Alolan Ninetails.
Weather Ball is landing and doesn't throw the second one. I love that call because you understand it's not going to knock out. We're just going to tank this Swift, over farm as usual, and still, we have to remove this Alolan Ninetails from the field. Has so much energy to its name, but slight under farm there. Does this allow the Spidops to get a nasty farm down? You can't really pivot into the Talonflame just in case there's that Unova Stunfisk, so you pretty much have to just play this matchup out and see where it goes. The Dazzling Gleam is going to be reached though. Colin has to put up the Protect Shield. Spidops though, can it clutch this one out for Colin? Can it defend him from going down 3-0? Gets that last Shadow Claw, and now Furret's going to be brought back on, but these lunges are going to apply a lot of pressure.
Oh, he is not even bringing in the Shadow Talonflame versus Spidops. Does take a lunge here. That is not too much damage. Wants to keep the shield advantage on that Talonflame. Swaps out immediately. Talonflame is really strong into Altaria. Surprisingly.
With the shield advantage, it's undeniable that Talonflame is good to go as long as it lands a fly here. Colin understands that he needs to no-shield at least one to have a chance in this game. Wants to get this Sky Attack off. It's probably going to be shielded, but Inadequance can't really afford to shield this second one, or a potential Rock Tomb could come through on the Spidops and actually snipe this Talonflame out of the sky.
But you still have 1 Protect Shield remaining, and I don't think you desperately need the Talonflame to win the game. I think at this point you can actually even let it go. Bring in the Furret and put everything on Furret. No, Martine decides against it. He puts up another Protect Shield here. He knows the switch timer is not yet up. Goes for another Flame Charge. Now, Colin, do you put everything on that spooky spider? The Spidops almost at a Rock Tomb.
Spidops gonna try to attempt to do 1 Shadow Claw, throw this Rock Tomb against the Talonflame, does get it off. Is Furret able to close out against the Spidops? I think 2 lunges will be able to knock out, but the Furret needs to outpace the 2 Swifts against the Spidops.
Ferret is so healthy still. You're almost at those 2 Swifts. It is dealing so much damage. A Rock Tomb is going to be reversed from Colin. He is dealing a lot of damage with this, but is it going to be enough to knock out? Because Inadequance, he has 2 Swifts. There is very few HP on the Swinubs, and Inadequance claims another title!
3-0 against Colin6ix. Swift knocks down the Spinops. It just wasn't enough. Talonflame, Alolan Ninetails, the absolute heroes of the squad. He claims his second guaranteed invite to San Francisco 2026. He hits us with the Team Rocket Cyrus pose.
Inadequance, galactical plays from the Team Galactic leader. He is the king of German regionals. Plays 2 regionals in a season. Does not lose 1 match in both. Frankfurt swept. Stuttgart swept.